where we claim 100% employability, either at industry or a significant part of them pursuing a PhD. So the objective of our graduate engineering degree is to train and graduate responsible engineers with a strong research-based science and technology background, aware of the global challenges, able to understand complexity, able to work in an international environment, able to find and adapt relevant, innovative, and sustainable science and technology solutions, able to manage big companies, SMEs, administrations as well, share common values, excellence, social and international openness, innovation, solidarity. What our education is composed with? First of all, you know that most of our courses are taught in French. For this, you need to show a B1 or B2 level according to the requirement of each school. So, courses taught in French, in science and technology. So you have these very strong components in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, computer science, and so on. Then a layer of courses in economics, management, entrepreneurship, communications, foreign languages, and a layer of soft skills, professional skills that will ease your connection with the job market and your capacity to navigate the industrial world. So the pedagogy is very hands-on, teamwork, internships, projects. And once again, this is a guarantee of employability with 100% employed students after graduation, even before graduation. The teaching is high quality and innovative. We speak about hands-on courses, practical exercises, teamwork, project, either individual or group. Internship is compulsory to award the degree of engineering. You need to validate internships depending on the organization of each school curriculum. You need to validate internship from 2 to 6 months. You have also research-based learning part in the curriculum and international mobility. Access to labs, fab labs, incubators, also to encourage entrepreneurship. The teaching faculty bringing together professors and experts from companies, and the ratio between students and faculty is very low. It is 5 students for 1 faculty member. So very personalized supervising, training, and teaching. What is a very important characteristic of our ParisTech schools is links with companies. Links with companies take the form of internships, so these compulsory periods of internships throughout your curriculum. It takes the forms of meetings with companies. Many companies every day are on campus making presentation of their job, their career path. Alumni are very active in finding internships, also in finding first jobs or information about careers. Companies are also very active as sponsors of the class, organize field visits and other things. Apprenticeship is also a format for training, which is quite spread in our schools. And companies provide projects. They provide a real case project on which students work and deliver solutions. Each school has a junior enterprise. It's a student club with company surveys or other professional services to deliver to companies. So it's a good way to get involved in the new enterprise to develop your employability. And companies also contribute to the leadership of the school as board members. So they also contribute to the orientation and the leadership of the school itself. Okay. You are going to learn in an excellent research environment, which is rooted in prestigious past. As you can see, those very famous names: Henri Becquerel, Nobel Prize in physics, Marie Curie, chemistry, Maurice Allais, Frédéric and Irène Joliot-Curie, Pierre-Gilles de Gennes, Jean Tirole. So I think that all those names ring a bell, and they are all ParisTech alumni. So excellence in research is rooted in history. And through these famous scientists, and also through their inventions, like the molecular cuisine by Hervé Tisse and Nicolas Curti at Agro Paritech, the quartz clock by Marius Lavé from Arrêté, the progressive lenses for visual correction from Bernard Wittner from Institut d'Optique. So all those inventions that have changed and radically transformed our life take root in inventions from famous scientists from ParisTech schools. Rankings, it's very important to know where ParisTech is within those rankings. That provides indication on the prestige of each school. So in France, it's a bit complicated. Sometimes you look for the school itself, or sometimes you look to the university the school belongs to. But basically, what you should know that the two big universities to which Agro Paritech, Institut d'Optique belong, Université Paris-Saclay, and the other comprehensive university to which SPCI, Chimie Mines belong, Université PSL, are ranked 13 for Paris-Saclay and 38 for PSL worldwide in the Shanghai ranking. And by subjects, I want to go into details, but you see that according to their specialty, each school boasts a very high ranking in the subject. Okay, and this is the QS ranking, which ranks with more schools of engineering, but also universities. So PSL is number 44, Université Paris-Saclay number 86, École des Ponts, which is not ranked by university but by itself, is 245. And then according to each domain and each subject, same, you can check that each school of ParisTech is very high position in each subject. Same for time higher education, PSL 40, Paris-Saclay 117, École des Ponts Paris-Tech in the range 251 and 300, because it's like by itself, like Arrêté, 800,000, and according to each topic, you can also check the very high ranking of the universities the School of ParisTech belong. Okay, so you are going to live an extraordinary experience and have plenty of opportunities to take in Paris, because Greater Paris is very attractive for R&D. It concentrates 2.2% of the GDP of the country. In Greater Paris, you have all the international company leaders in their sector, It's a very dynamic region and very attractive for entrepreneurs as well. It concentrates all the best higher education institutions. It's the 5th destination in the world for international students. It provides lots of scholarships and funding opportunities for international mobility. You have a lot of international academic partners, and the tuition fees. The tuition fees are most of the time lower than in other Western countries. It is also the country of mathematicians, very famous scientists, and it is a country in which your research acumen will be very happy to expand. So it's also a country of culture, tradition, art, history, quality of life, food, values like freedom, inclusion, critical thinking. It's also an educational standpoint that we focus much in our system, and also a key contribution to the challenges of the ecological transition and the climate change. French language, because we think that most courses are taught in French. French language is the official language of more than 300 million people, 5th language spoken in the world. And what the students say, the most international students say most, that they recommend France as their first study destination. 97% believe that studying in France has been a very enriching experience. 86% believe that studying in France have highlighted their university curriculum. They say that, so you can trust it. Okay, and in Paris, we have a concentration of industry companies, more than 8,000. 1/3 of them is a foreign company, headquartered in Greater Paris. It is one of the world's best student cities, with 7 universities, 40 graduate school of engineering, so very dynamic and dense environments. And 40% of national investment in research and development is done in the Greater Paris region. Okay. Companies, or few names, I'm sure that you know the majority of them because they operate worldwide, like Atos, Dassault Systèmes, L'Oréal, Microsoft, Orange, Saint-Gobain, Safran. So all those companies are French origin, but they have expanded and they operate locally and they provide, as we saw earlier, jobs, cooperation with research, training, and topics and many opportunities you will have during your curriculum to work closely with those companies. And they are led by alumni from our schools, like Christelle Hederman. She's the CEO of Orange, the telecom national operator. Philippe Knosch, he's the CEO of Orano in mining. Also Thales ParisTech's is also an alumni, and ArcelorMittal's CEO is also an alumni from one of our schools. Okay, or you can choose to launch your own endeavor, create your own startups. We have many new, young, innovative companies which have been launched, created by alumni. The majority of them in the fields of artificial intelligence or solutions for sustainable development. So you will be encouraged and supported if you like to test your idea and launch a startup that you can then run later in another country. Okay, very international experience. So remember that 30% of the students are international on our campus, representing 75 different nationalities, coming from partnerships. And partnerships are very important. We have 70 agreements with international universities that contribute to this international dynamic life on our campus. And one thing important more and more is our commitment against all discriminations. Our commitment to gender equality. We do many things to promote the engineering careers to women in science. And we also work a lot in the inclusion of all profiles, with all cultures, nationalities, and also students with special needs in our curricula. And all the schools are very, very committed to give equal opportunities to every student. Alumni, after, once you graduate, you will join a very big network of 90,000 alumni from those 7 ParisTech schools, located in 13 countries worldwide. Each country has their own chapter, their own organization, and they are very helpful to help finding a job, to share experience, and also to become a network made by people on which you can rely all along your career in life. So if we sum up the added value of the diplôme d'ingénieur, through learning provides practical exercises between 30 and 50% of the course. It provides internship, full-time internship in company or in laboratories. It provides teamwork, project management, research-driven teaching, which contribute to define and solve problems or find solutions, design prototypes, tests, and run science and technology solutions, processes, products, and so on. In close contact to businesses means that diplôme d'ingénieur enables you to work in any domain, production, R&D, consulting, services. It opens lots of professional opportunities. Opportunities worldwide. It is very important to check the international career of the students. So either directly to industry or with a PhD, leading either to an academic career or a career at industry, because industry requires also many PhD graduate students. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention, and I give the floor to
Ricardo. The floor is yours.
Turning on my video. So we are going to go now through the selection process. How can you join this wonderful program, and how can you join one of our schools? Essentially, the idea is that in France, the engineering school is equivalent to a master's degree. Okay, so that means that in France, you have 2 different paths. You can get a master's and go to the doctorate, or you can get an engineering degree and go to the doctorate. So bear that in mind throughout the whole process. And our admission program puts you in that master's level. So most of our admission program will put you in our 2nd year of engineering degree, which is the equivalent of the 1st years of master's in France. Okay, so you're going to do 2 and 3, equivalent to a full master's degree. So if you could go to the next one, that's it. You have, therefore, to have achieved that level in your studies. Okay, it's a common confusion. We get sometimes requests from high school students wanting to enter our schools. They cannot. Okay, you have to get that higher level. Our students from France already have college education level when they apply for us. So you have to have some piece of your bachelor's degree already in science or engineering or economics or a similar field or mathematics. And you have to be good in that. Okay, it's not, Marie-Christine said, only 5% of the French students reach the engineering schools in the whole France, not in one of the ParisTech schools. Okay, I would like to say that in our schools only 1% reach. We are the top 1%, but that may be just my trying to say we are better than the others. You will be taught in French, and but you are required to speak very good English. Okay, Our students have to have, when they finish our international students, when they finish their training here, they have to have, it's a requirement from our overseas institutions and committees that you have a very good mastery of French and English. Okay. So let's try to go to the next one, please, Florence. We are divided up in a few countries. So we have a program specific and very well adapted to Latin American countries. So Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia are the countries which we have an agreement already. And this is a long list of the institutions we have signed agreements, we have double degrees with them. Okay, so that means that you will get essentially the same thing in the three countries, Argentina, Brazil, or Colombia. We're not showing this here. You're going to be selected after at least 5 semesters in your course. Okay, that's when we are going to talk to you. That's when you do a written test. That's when you get an interview. And if you are selected, you're supposed to leave your country a year later. So once you have finished at least 7 semesters. Then you come to France, and you're going to spend 2 years here. So you're going to do the 2nd year and the 3rd year. That's equivalent to the 2 master's years, as I mentioned before. And then you have to finish your courses in your home country. If you have finished them before, it's fine. You don't have to go back. But if you haven't finished them, you have to get your diploma from your home country so that you get our diploma. Okay. So selection is September, October, admission is a year later, September of the following year. So if you apply this year, we're going to talk to you this September and October. And if you are successful, you're going to go to France, September 2023. The next one, please, Florence. So China is a different process. We have 2 paths with China. The program for the countries that I showed, it's open to partner institutions. Okay, for China, it's open bar. Everybody can apply. But we have a few universities which we have privileged partnerships, and then you can get a double degree with those universities. There's a list here. Not everybody has an agreement with all these universities, so you should check with the school you are aiming at in the ParisTech group and check if they have a double degree with them. And if they don't, you can apply for the general program specific to China. So the general program specific to China means that you get your bachelor's degree in China and then you can come here. This is essentially the process. So you're going to do the 4 years in China, that's equivalent to the bachelor's here. You're going to be selected, you have to learn French, you have to master English, and then you come to France for the 2 years in the French system. And eventually, you can get a master's from your home institution if you continue in the training. Okay, you can move on, Florence. So we are going to do it short. So these are for Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and China. Just one detail, because we might have students from Russia here. We do have a program specific to Russia that, because of the current situation, the government orders that we cannot have an exchange with the Russian institutions, but we can have an exchange with the Russian citizens. So if you are from Russia and you want to apply, you cannot use our regular program with Russia. You have to use our worldwide program. But you're still welcome and you can apply, and we will look at your file. So if you are not in one of those ParisTech partner universities, or if you are from Russia, this specific year, you have to finish your bachelor's degree, and then you can apply. Okay? Always check if we don't have specific agreements, but that's very specific to each school. So the general case is you finish your bachelor's degree and you can apply. So I think we have schematics. It's a very simple schematics on that. You finish, you do the equivalent of a master's here. So you have the engineering diploma, which guarantees you that doesn't guarantee, I don't like to say that, you still have to be good, but which entitles you to apply for a PhD program in the following app. So the selection process is exactly the same for everybody. Okay, there's no distinction between the countries or countries which do not have an agreement. There is distinction which level you should be, but the calendar and the process is the same. So the calendar is the next step. We can move to it. When we have a partner institution, this partner institution has to present you. You cannot just come and say, hey, I want to go to Paris. No, you have to talk to your home institution. You have to apply in their parallel to us. You have to apply with them. They're going to select you, and they're going to tell us, we have talked to these students. These are fine to go. Again, just back a little bit. Then you also have, in all the cases, to apply with us. Okay, so there is this website that's going to open June 1st and will be open until September 21st. Don't leave your application to the last minute. Okay, don't wait until September 20th to say, hey, I should maybe follow that website they told me. Do it as fast as you can. You do not need to do everything in a single shot. Put the documents you have, come back later, complete it. You're not required to have everything ready from the first day. At the end of September, we are going to look at all the applications. We are going to validate the applications that require validation from a partner institution. And we are going to see for the other applications if they meet the minimum levels of time of diplomas that we need. You're going to go written test. It's a web-based test. There is a trial day, so the test is September 30th. And on September 28th, you have a trial test, just a blank test, just a mock test to see, so that you see how it works. It doesn't count, okay? So the real one is September 30th. After the test, we are going to look at all the files. We're going to look at our test results. It's not a contest. It's not an exam. It's a level test, so it doesn't mean that the best students will be guaranteed to enter. The best students that succeed in the test. It's a holistic thing. We're going to look at your file, we're going to look at your test, and then see which students can continue. So for those, we're going to call you for an interview. In some countries, we are going to be present in the country, and the interview will be in place. In other countries, we're going to do this on Zoom or a similar tool. And by November 25th, you have a final answer. Okay, there are steps between the interview and that final answer, but if we get to that, we're going to go into detail on this. But the main point is register before September 21st. You have an interview, you have a written test, you have an interview, and then you are accepted or not. Okay, so if we move to the next slide. This is the more specific calendar. So the calendar is the same for all countries until the written test, until the online written test. Then the interview will happen between October, I think the first one is October 10th for China. And the last one is at the end of October. So it's October 28th for Colombia and the rest of the world. Okay, so you can look here which one interests you. This is already defined. It's generally a week. We block a week per country or per program, and we do the interviews. We might, after that interview, some schools, not all of them, each school is independent, they choose what they want to do. They might want to talk to you again, in particular to see your scientific level in a few topics, or to see if you understand well the spirit of that school. And then we have a meeting on November 25th, to decide who can go to which school, and we tell you right away what happened. Okay, so this is the essential process. What's next? This is a copy of the web page, so be attentive to this. This is a common mistake. Okay, if you are from Asia, don't click in Argentina. If you are from Brazil, don't click in China. Okay, choose the right program that applies to you. And in doubt, you can get in touch with us. As a general rule, as a rule of thumb, your country is the country where you are studying. Okay, so if you are from Colombia, but you're studying in Brazil, you should apply through the Brazilian university. Okay, if you are from Korea and you're studying in China, you should apply from China. There are exceptions. There are a few details. In case of doubt, get in touch with us and we'll look at your case. Okay. The next one, how much does it cost? So it's very important for you to know that the cost, your cost us, each student, not you specifically, any student in our schools costs us about 20,000 euros per year. 17 to 18, the real number, but it varies. Let's round this up to 20K. Okay, that's not what the students pay. So the French government or the French overseeing organisms will cover most of that. I don't like to call it tuition cost, because tuition means that the university can make a profit. That's the real cost, the 18K. Okay, so that's how much we have to pay teachers, that's how much we have to pay electricity, we have to pay lab material, we have to pay equipment. That comes to 20K. So the French government covers most of it, covers between 95 to 80% of it. So each school has a different tuition fee, which will range from zero in a few cases to 4,000 euros per year per student. Okay. When you are in a double degree, quite often you have at least a partial waiver. And if you have some of scholarships like Eiffel or the French consulate or some others, you have also full waiver. I think the next slide is a more detailed data on this. Of course, we cannot read this right now. This is available in the ParisTech website. So just go there, and that gives you an idea, a very good idea of how much will it cost to apply and to study with us. Okay, so you'll see that you have zero in a few cases and you have 4,000 as a maximum, or 5,500 as a maximum in a few cases. So the next one is the most important thing for you, not for us, okay? But you don't care if you're going to like you. What you generally ask is, where am I going to live? Okay, so that we help you and we take care for most of it. You shouldn't worry about that right now. Once you are admitted, you're going to work with the schools, which will assist you throughout the whole process. Okay, they will give you the documents for visa application. They will evaluate your French level. They will help you with your French training if it's necessary. They will put you in touch with students that are currently in our schools. And we also have housing in our facilities, not necessarily in the place of the school, but we have access to affordable housing, which can also have some help. So we're going to help you with that. But this is a school-based process. It's not a ParisTech thing. Each school has its own contacts and its own system. So once you are admitted, you have to work on that, not before. Okay. The next one. There was already a question in the window, the question window. Is there any scholarships? There are many. There is one common point for most, if not all, of these scholarships. They are merit-based. They are not social scholarships. Okay, so first thing you have to be is to be good. I think the most prestigious one and the best one in terms of financial support is the Eiffel Scholarship. It gives you, I think, 1,200 euros per month. It pays your airfare. It finds you housing. It has it all. It's extremely selective. Okay, generally to receive an Eiffel Scholarship, you have to be in the top 5% of your class if your class is really big, or you have to be number 1 or 2 if it's a smaller class. And really big, I'm talking about a few hundred people. Okay, so if in your class you have a few hundred people in the top 5%, you have a shot at the Eiffel. If it's, say, 30, 40, you have to be number 1 or 2. So it's very important that we have your ranking. Then each country, each French embassy in each country has a program to foster exchange with France. And this we have no access ourselves, so you have to check with the embassy in your country if they have a program specific for you that they can give you support to come here. You have also country-specific programs like the FITEC, and it's on the back. You have school foundations that will give you scholarships, and you have also industrial scholarships. The next one, please, Florence. When you're going to study with us, you should go to the webpage Study With Us, okay? And it will give you a plethora of information on things you might ask. So you can ask us. It's probably faster if you just read this. And it also shows us your reading skills and your comprehension skills. It's already a good point if you have this information. These are points that, for instance, we're going to talk during the interview, okay? If you know what to expect here. So the next one, this is pretty obvious. Go to our websites, send our international services emails. So this, write down the website. It's ParisTech.fr, and the Study With Us, ParisTech.fr. Take a screenshot, take a picture. Let's wait 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope you took a picture. Okay, and you have this information. This is your entry point. Don't forget it. Okay, I think the next one we have a bunch of emails. No, not yet. The procedure, well, this is again our website. We just go through this very quickly. You know how to use a website, right? So you can go through this. The next slide. So we have more time for questions. Another photo opportunity. Another 5 seconds. Grab your phones. Take a picture of this. Okay, you have all our social medias. You have all our information that you can get here. So this is very useful for you to have. I hope this is also on our website, and by hope I mean I know it is. So you can always go back there. And I think we have a slide with emails. That's it. Okay, so each country has a specific email. If you have any questions, hey, I'm a student so-and-so, can I apply? Write to the proper email, and we are going to answer you as soon as we can. Okay, and you can also get in touch with our contacts. So Marie de Boniche is here. You can see her amongst the panelists. She is our representative in Asia. She is located in Shanghai at this time, and she can help you with your application. Each school also has an international email address. You can write to the school and ask questions about the specific program. And I think this is the essential portion of the program. So I hope you're convinced that it's a very good choice to come study with us. And we should open for questions now, Florence. Is that the...
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Marie-Christine and Ricardo for presentation. So we already answered some questions in the Q&A section, but we have three questions actually. I want to know if there is any major related to microelectronics. Who can answer it?
This is a very important point. The engineering schools in France are not like engineering schools in other countries. You don't have majors. You have, for instance, you have the diploma of Spca, you have the diploma of École de Pont, you have the diploma of Agro. You're not majoring in one specific topic like mechanical engineering or chemical engineering or electrical engineering. So you will have a generic training in engineering with specific topics in each school. Of course, if you go to Chimie ParisTech, you should expect to have a good training in chemistry, right? Don't expect to go there and have mechanical engineering. I think that microelectronics, maybe Daniela can answer. I would say that arts et métiers would be the most close to it, but it's not maybe the biggest topic of it, right?
It depends, because I'm not very sure. It depends exactly what you are interested in microelectronics, because we are mainly specialized industrial mechanical engineering. We have electrical engineering in the last year, but maybe you could send us a message, an email with more information about your background, and this way we will be able to give you a more accurate answer.
Yeah,
I think it is the best way.
Yeah, you might also find some things in microelectronics and École des Mines, I think. But it's again, it's a generic thing, so you should get in touch with them and explain better what you're intending to do.
But you may pay attention to the fact that even if you study microelectronics, it will not be the only things you study, because the diplôme d'ingénieur is very general. So it means you don't have a master degree in microelectronics, but a diplôme d'ingénieur with microelectronics, economics, management, and so on, foreign languages, communication, a lot of things actually, not only a specific specialization in microelectronics.
Yeah, your diploma will not mention microelectronics at all.
Yeah.
You get a paper, it's not written microelectronics and not anything similar to that. It's written engineer from this school.
Yeah. Then a question from Cambodia. I'm studying in 4 years at university. In the 4th years, I don't graduate. Can I apply for this scholarship? Who may answer?
I don't understand. I may give a shot. I don't understand exactly the question. So if you're studying and you have not graduated yet, but you will be graduated when you would come to France, yes, you can apply to the program. Okay, that's fine. You don't need to have graduated before the selection. You have to be graduated before arriving in France. Scholarship is unrelated. It's the scholarship. If you are admitted in the program, then we look at the scholarships. We don't look at the scholarship before you are admitted in the program.
Okay, thank you. Then a question for Marie-Christine from a student from Bangladesh studying already get a bachelor in Malaysia in civil engineering. And if you, there is a question about the selection process. If you don't have any official ranking certificate from your school, from your university, you have to mention it in the process, in the application form. But it's okay. You just have to say it. And then Marie-Christine, there is a question about the international student quota of École des Ponts each semester.
The international student quota?
Yeah.
Hey.
Try is not.
Quota, you mean the proportion of international students compared to the cohorts? It's average 30%. There's no quota. There's no quota. The selection and the admission are based on the academic performance, but there's no quota.
Yeah. Then a question about the career of the students after the program. They have a big career. They can be a scientist, they can be a manager, they can, what can you say? They can work in factories or in consulting, or can you give some?
I mean, that they can work in any sector of industry. And the entry jobs are engineers, project officers. At the very beginning, I mean, entry job, of course, you don't have a leadership position, not management position. But the thing is that the value of the degree of engineering is an accelerator of career paths. So let's say that you can start as engineer, project leader, and gradually you will very quickly access higher positions. So it is a career accelerator at industry. And of course, if you continue on a PhD, the thing is that after the PhD, you can take either an academic career at universities or at industries, because we need industries require a PhD in certain domain.
And then a question about the holistic approach in the selection process. Which factors do you evaluate from a student's profile besides grades? So Ricardo, maybe?
Yeah, your height. No. The point is, let's say that you have a wonderful performance in the written test. Doesn't mean you're in. We're going to look at your record and see that you are a really average student. We're going to ask, well, how did he get the written test so well? Okay, that will put us in warning mode. It's not that you're eliminated, but we're going to ask many questions. So the thing is, we have to get as many elements from you to see if you are, number one, a student that has the same level of the students we have currently in France. So you have to have a good academic performance, and you have to be able to manage the written test to some extent, okay? Second point, you have to have the maturity to leave our country and come to France, okay? We don't want the student that comes here and says, all that I want to do is come back home. No, that's a very important thing. That the interview generally gives us a very good idea if you are mature enough to leave your country. Then you have to understand what the schools will bring to you, okay? It's not just, well, I'm going to go to France and see the Eiffel Tower and eat foie gras and take a bateau mouche in the Seine. No, it's if you come to study in one of the French schools, it's important for us that this is not just, I don't know what to do. It has some career increment to your CV. It has some positive aspects to your CV. It's not just, I don't know what to do, I'll just go there. So it has to be, I'm not saying that you have, oh, I'm studying, I don't know, chemical engineering in Brazil, so I will go to École de Chimie. No, it's a good choice, of course, but it's not this that we're looking for. You might say, hey, I'm studying chemical engineering in Brazil, and I want to get a lot of extra training in mechanical engineering, so I'll apply to Academity and show that despite the fact that I have done a lot of chemistry, I have enough background to go to study with them, and this will be something, some aggregation in my career that I wouldn't have if I just stayed home or if I just go to. So we are going to look at all these aspects. It's not just a number that you get in the written test that will put you in or take you out. You have to be a good student. You have to perform well, reasonably well in the test. You have to have a clear idea on why you want to leave your country and spend some time in France. You have to show us that you're able to do that. Okay, that you can do that without your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your cousins, and everybody else. That you're able to live by yourself. So that's why there are so many steps in the process, and we try to evaluate you throughout all these steps. And generally, we do a correct job in that. Okay, we have not many fails.
Yeah. And the last question about security and safety in Paris because of yellow vests. Maybe we can say that this movement is now finished. We may have some others in the next month, but it's part of a democracy in France. And maybe you will already also participate in some demonstration for climate, for instance. But actually, it's very secure and safe in Paris. And you will have any assistance you need from the school or from the public services in France, you can come to Paris and take it easy. It's not an issue. And maybe some words about COVID pandemic. The pandemic is now not quite finished in France, but the situation is very good. And we are all vaccinated. If you come to France and if you didn't get any vaccine, you will be vaccinated for free. You will have health insurance for students, so the situation is under control. There is no issues now for students. Or maybe my colleagues want to add some words about this security or pandemic. No? Okay, and then the last question, maybe Artemio, maybe you can answer in the Q&A session about Brazil. And there was also a question about why not September 2022. The fact is that we know that most of the applicants don't speak French, so they have 6 months to learn French before coming to France. That's why we do it a year before. And it's also in the autumn so that you can apply for some scholarships. That's why we take our time, and you don't come in September 2022, but in September 2023. So we don't offer any bachelor degree in our schools. The diplôme d'ingénieur is very specific, and it begins with a master degree, actually, for international students. We don't offer it. It's very specific in France, but that's it. So I would suggest we can go to the second part of this webinar, to the presentation of each school. So my colleague, each of them will have 10 minutes time to present the schools, and you can ask your question in the Q&A session or in the toolbar. So we will begin first. So you see here a wide range of disciplines offered by the schools, and we will begin with Agro Paritech. So Jeanne, you have the floor.
Yes, hello everyone. I don't see the right presentation. It's just question and answer. No. No. I don't know if the other is the first slide. Okay. Okay, so I don't see it, but I can do it anyway. But I don't know if it will be the right slide. Sorry. So a few words about Agro Paritech. What is Agro Paritech? So it's a French public institute with a rich history because it spans over 180 years, and it has a forward-looking approach which is aimed at addressing the main challenges of the 21st century, which are feeding the population in a sustainable way, protecting natural resources, fostering innovation, and developing the bioeconomy. For this, we have the school is really internationally renowned for the quality of its program and for its research activities. Its training is really research-based. Yes, I see that nobody is seeing the right slide, apparently. It's still the Q&A session.
So I will just a minute. I will begin again. I don't know why. You see the presentation now, okay?
Yes.
Okay, and
yes, I can see it now.
It's okay?
Yes, perfect. Thanks. So the training is research-based, and it really focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship. And there are two key missions that are really to offer high-quality training to the students and to the professional in the different curricula that offer Agro Paritech, and also to advance the scientific knowledge, always in close association with public and private research centers, and also with the companies in order to really advance the research. And Agro Paritech is very well ranked in different international rankings, such as the QS Top University ranking, where we are first in France in the field of agriculture and forestry, third in Europe, and fourth worldwide. Also, we are in the Shanghai ranking, not as Agro Paritech, but as Université Paris-Saclay, from which we are members, and we contribute to the success of the ranking of Université Paris-Saclay in the field of agriculture, in biotechnology, and also in food. And also, Agro Paritech is the best school in the field of agriculture in France. So if you come here, really you have one of the best schools in the field of agriculture and forestry. So there are four main fields of scientific expertise, which are agricultural production and forestry, food and non-food transformation, sustainable management of natural resources and the environment, and human health. And to address these fields, Agro Paritech, in fact, is organized in 5 departments of education and research. So I will tell the name. So it's agronomy, forestry, water and environmental sciences and technology, life sciences and health, sciences and engineering for food and bioproducts, social sciences, economics and management, and finally, modeling, mathematics, informatics, and physics. So once you are admitted in Agro Paritech, how it is organized, what happens? So what is really interesting with the Agro Paritech engineering curriculum is that you have a lot of options, and it's really, you can really have a tailor-made curriculum. So first, during the second year of studies, you have a wide range of choices, as you have to choose between 4 different study tracks, depending on what you really want to study. So either in sustainable production, sectors and territories, engineering of food products, biomolecules and energy, environmental engineering and management, engineering and health, human bioproducts and the environment. So when you arrived, you are divided into these different study tracks, but you also have a core curriculum, which is the same for every student, in which you will study engineering, sciences and mathematics, modeling, economic and social sciences and management. What is also interesting, you have 7 modules with a choice of more than 100 course units. So really you can either decide to discover a brand new topic or really to specialize in what you are really interested in. So it depends on what you want to do. And you can also do apprenticeship tracks, which means that you can study and at the same time work in a company. So it might be also interesting if you want to be right now in the world of work. It's not possible since long, so it can be a good option for you also. You also have many, no, I wasn't finished, sorry. You also have many opportunities during the 3rd year, as you have to choose between 20 specialties in 10 different fields. For instance, biotech, agricultural development, nutrition. So once again, lots of options. But you can also decide to join one of the 44 master programs offered by Agro Paritech and Université Paris-Saclay and its partners. And if it's not enough for you, you can also join a master program from another institution. So really, you have not many limits. You can really specialize in what you really prefer. And all along your studies in Agro Paritech, you are involved in team projects, in sports courses, in languages. There is also international mobility, as we have 200 partnerships with 155 universities over 47 different countries. So if you want to spend a semester on internship abroad, it is possible. And of course, during the 2nd and the 3rd year, you have compulsory internships. It's 2 months, I think, in the 2nd year and 6 months in the 3rd year. And some students join really famous companies such as L'Oréal, Danone or Nestlé, but you can also go in labs or other kind of companies. So once again, a lot of options. What happens once you graduate? So 80% of our students get a job less than 2 months after graduation, and 8% pursue a PhD. The entry-level salary is 38K per year, euro per year, and the main field is either agriculture and forest, or services, industry, and also public sector and research. And finally, the next slide. So a bit different about the student life, but it's also really important. As you can see on this map, Agro Paritech is composed of 7 campuses, which are located in vibrant and attractive cities in France. So you can see in the middle of the map, it's our main campus. It's in Palaiseau in the Paris region. It's a brand new campus. It just opened right now. So everything is brand new, the classrooms, the labs. So it will be very nice. And Here you have food and bio-based product, environment, sustainable agricultural production and health. And as an engineering student, you can also go either to Nancy, where you can study forest, wood and natural habitat, or also in Montpellier. It's more about spatial information, water management and ecosystem management. The other campuses, it's more for masters, PhDs, so you may go there, but maybe not right away. We have 2,300 students and 16% are degree-seeking international students. And also, as every engineering school, we have a lot of student organization and events. You will be able to meet other students and to have a real social life here with sports, culture, buddy programs, student unions. So really, there is a lot of things to do apart from studying, even if it's also really important. And don't worry also about accommodation. I know it's really hard to find accommodation, especially in the Paris region, but as international students, you are given the priority for our accommodation at affordable prices. So we have different places in the Paris region, and depending on where you study, what you do, you can go to one of them. And really, you don't have to worry that much about looking for an accommodation, which I think is really good. And you also have administrative support from the International and European Relations Office, which will also help you to find some scholarship and sometimes to do the file to the scholarship. So don't hesitate to contact us directly. If you have questions or anything, we are available for you.
Thank you, Jeanne. So now, Arts et Métiers with Daniela, please.
Thank you, Florence. Hello, everybody. So I'm Daniela Stamazik, and I have the pleasure to make today's presentation on behalf of Arts et Métiers. Our institution, since its creation, has put its skill at the service of industry, and our mission statement is to deliver solutions to the needs of every sector of industry. To this end, we offer courses from undergraduate to doctorate level, among which there is also our leading program, Arts et Métiers, ParisTech Grande École Engineering Program, which is the first one in the list here, and it is the equivalent of a master's level. Arts et Métiers conducts research applied to 5 major factory of the future sectors, which are transport, engineering, energy, health technology, construction, and manufacturing. And we have been awarded the Excellence Label for transferring research to the industrial world, which is the Carnot Institute label. Some figures: we have 15 laboratories conducting research in manufacturing systems, innovation and production systems, robotics or co-robotics, augmented reality, biomechanics, additive manufacturing. We have 6 research chairs in health, environment, clean mobility and smart industrial systems. We have real-scale technology platforms. We have in total 6,000 students from undergraduate to doctorate levels, among which we have 1,000 international students. And we have around 170 partners university worldwide. Next slide, please. Arts et Métiers is a unique institution with 11 locations, which are spread all over France. You can see the campuses, our campuses and institutes here on the map. We have a campus in Paris, in Lille, Metz and Chalon in the east of France. We have Cluny in the Middle East. We have Aix-en-Provence near the Mediterranean Sea. We have Bordeaux in the west, Angers also in the west. And this this allows us to build even closer ties with industry in order to offer our students workplace integration, training programs, and to the companies the possibility of innovation transfer and research. Arts et Métiers also not finished. Arts et Métiers also supports entrepreneurs through our talent pipeline and incubators for industry and high-tech industry, and we offer training programs for students who wants to create their own business. Now it's the move on. Thank you. So this is our leading program, which is the Arts et Métiers, called Arts et Métiers ParisTech Grande École Engineering Program. The main features of the program are that it offers strong background in mechanical and industrial engineering, that it has a pedagogical approach combining theory and practice. We have multiple and varied choices of specialized final year courses, and as it was told earlier in the presentation, we also have a 6-month mandatory immersion in companies, so a traineeship program. The structure of the program is it's composed of 2 years. So the first year for the admitted students would be a first semester, which is taught on all our campuses, and this semester would be either a mechanical or industrial engineering, oriented semester. During which students could attend courses in solid mechanics, in management, industrial organization, materials, product design, and manufacturing. The second semester of this first year of study here is a semester oriented in energy and industrial engineering, with courses in electronics, in automatics, energetics, system design, system manufacturing, industrial organization. And during both semesters, there are projects that are carried out by students, one more research-oriented, and the other one which is a more applied project. The next year, so the last year of studies, the third year of our engineering degree, student can choose a course, a specialized course among more than 30 courses we offer. And this course could be in various fields. Some examples here, so energies for sustainable development, aeronautics, fluid mechanics, mechatronics, business creation, electrical engineering, virtual and augmented reality, and so on. During this semester, there is a there are core courses in management of logistic chain and strategical management, and a project in the laboratory, which is carried out in a laboratory. And the second semester of this last year is entirely dedicated to the 6 months internship in company. And this internship is mandatory in order to be awarded the engineering degree. And last but not least, throughout each year, so the second and the third year, students can follow courses in foreign languages, among which the French as a foreign language courses, which is mandatory for all our international students. And we have also a course which is called Professional Project Initiative, during which students are helped by professionals from companies to get to know themselves better, to know what their career they would like to have, in which industry, how to present their applications, how to write a CV, a statement letter, and so on. Some figures about can you stay on the previous? Thank you. Some figures about some statistics about our graduate students. So 83, more than 83% work less than 6 months after the graduation, and other 9 to 10% pursue their studies with the PhD, for example. We have also 63 of students who are employed before the graduation, so they find their employment during their final year internship. The top sectors of employment of our students are engineering services and consulting, transportation, aeronautics, automotive, rail, construction, and the top working functions are production, quality control, research and development, innovation, and consultancy. The average salary, entry salary for our students, it's around 42k euro per year. On the next slide, thank you. Some information about the campus life. We have 11 sites in France. Among these 11 sites, we have 8 campuses, which are dedicated to teaching teaching programs. So this the other 3 sites are more research-oriented sites. So students who come to France for the engineering program would have to follow the courses in one of our campuses, and on each campus we have international relation offices offering administrative support and tutoring. Each campus has its own hall of residence where students can stay during the year. They have documentation centers and IT rooms, of course, with internet access. We have infrastructures which allow students to take part in various teams and individual sports. We have a National Students Association, which offers activities in sport or other cultural, scientific, humanitarian, business activities. One of our main strong point is that we have one of the biggest alumni in Europe, with 34,000 alumni, and all throughout the year we offer student and alumni mentoring. So to sum up, why Arts et Métiers? Again, is one of the best and renowned engineering institutions in France. We could get in touch with the industry, acquire business contact, thanks to our sites throughout France, and the close links we have with the local economic players. You could work on our real scale technology platform, and if interested, you could pursue with a PhD at Arts et Métiers after the 2-year engineering program. You could also become a part of our the biggest engineering alumni association and in Europe, and of course experience France language, France culture, and take advantage of our sites. Well, that's all for me. I leave the floor now to my colleagues from Chimie.
Yes, thank you, Daniela and Fethi.
Thank you, Florence. Welcome to everyone, and welcome to this short presentation of Chimie ParisTech PSL. We are one of the oldest schools of this consortium, ParisTech, and our school, Chimie ParisTech, is totally devoted to chemistry, teaching and training in all fields of chemistry. We were created by Charles Friedel, who is very well known as the professor who invented the reaction Friedel and Kraft, which is now widely used in the chemical industries in the world. And later on, we had Henri Moisson, who is our Nobel Prize and the former director of the school. And these two guys show us how the link between research-oriented training and companies is extremely important in order to train the engineers in chemistry. As an example, I'm citing the name of Jean Schuller, who is one of our alumni who created the worldwide known company named L'Oréal. And this is again an example of how training and research in our labs can be translated to large or small economic activities. The students are highly selected, and you know now that in all the schools of ParisTech and all these graduate engineering schools, the selection is one of the pillars of our system, and 50% of them are women, which is something which is extremely important for us and for all the institutions within ParisTech. We have a large number of students, but it's small enough to have a very tight discussion and training and formation of the students. 350 students in the engineering program for 140 researchers, professors, and associate professors working within Chiny ParisTech. This means that we have a very tight and very beneficial ratio of professors and students, which makes everything going very smoothly. In addition to the training in fundamentals of chemistry and all fields of chemistry, our students go through 20% of the program dealing with business management and human skills. This is extremely important in order to form the leaders having these required skills in management. They have to know how to manage projects, how to manage companies, how to manage relations between different teams, etc. And 40% of the classes are based also on practical training. And this is also extremely important in order to know how in chemistry we have to deal with the processes, with the mechanism, with the reactions, etc. And this will allow people knowing better how they have to rule and how they have to manage the project that they have to do. Also, 20% of our students are international, and this is extremely important for us to have you within our students in order to increase the internationalization of the formation. And most of them, all of them, they have to go abroad for 1 semester. And this is, again, something that is extremely well needed now for the future leaders in order to make them very close to the reality of the internationalizations. On the next slide, I'm showing briefly what we are, the different subjects that we are developing at Chiny ParisTech in order to let you know that we are not dealing only with chemical processes or chemical engineering program. We are dealing with all kinds of chemistry, ranging from analytical to solid state to theoretical, molecular, bioorganic chemistry, and so on. This means that we have to consider all the aspects of chemistry in order to develop technologies. And when coming from the fundamentals of this chemistry to the development of technologies, the students and our future leaders have to know exactly how to drive this approach by sustainability, eco-conceptions, and recycling, and etc. This means that what we are teaching has to be realistic and has to fit with the needs of the economy and also of the environment and the ecology, and etc. So chemistry, from chemistry to technologies, and to technologies that are applied for different fields, mainly energies, materials, microfluidics, and medicine. On the next slide, I'm showing the way that the students will be entering the program. So on the previous one, if you can go back one step, please. we will see that the students, they will have to spend 2 years with us. The students coming from the international process, they have to spend 2 years with us. During the year 2 and the year 3, they will have to go through core courses to strengthen the fundamentals in chemistry, and also to go through programs that are research-oriented. They will have to work within projects dealing with innovation, management, and economy, and they will have also through 2 mandatory internships of 5 months and 6 months each. This means that during the 2 years when the students will join us for this master degree, which is the engineering degree, they will have the possibility to go through almost 1 year internship, meaning working in a company or in a laboratory. They will be paid for this, and in addition to this, they might also have the possibility to get the apprenticeship, which is an agreement with the company for 2 semesters in order to work in a company and also to have their classes at ParisTech. This means that this organization of the studies will allow them to strengthen the fundamentals, to practice them, and to have programs that are research-oriented. So instead of giving examples of lectures, of tracks that the students are following during these 2 years, I will show you on the next step, on the next slide, different examples of research that we are doing at ParisTech. The programs are research-oriented. And indeed, what we are developing in our laboratories will be teaching by our 100 professors and associate professors and researchers. As an example, I'm showing here the one dealing with imaging and characterization, and I'm showing two really main different applications of imaging and characterization. One related to health sciences, for example, how to use nanomaterials and nanoparticles for optical imaging of tumors, for example, within the body. And you have here a picture of mice bearing tumors. And the use of these nanoparticles allow the tuning the characterization of these tumors and the effect of the medical therapy. And also we can use almost the same kind of imaging or different kinds of imaging techniques in order to have information on ancient materials and in order to characterize, for example, arts and objects coming from ancient ages. This is how we can really manage and use the imaging techniques using chemistry in order to develop different kinds of applications. We can also use nano and smart materials for optoelectronics, energy, and medicine. And we need to know how to deal with the chemistry of these nano and smart materials in order to tune their properties and have the appropriate characteristics and applications. We have the example of catalysis and sustainable processes. And we have a lab here working on how to produce polymers that can be recycled. And their eco-conception has to be taken into account before starting any projects in order to make the processes sustainable. I can also say the example of modeling and simulations of all kinds of processes and mechanisms. We can also say the example of chemical engineering, flow chemistry, and microfluidics that help us a lot in order to conceive tools for diagnosis or for flow chemistry, for example. All these examples are some of examples of what we are doing at ParisTech, and these are really feeding our programs in teaching during the 2 years our students when they come to join us for the engineering degree. So these examples are really show how we are dealing with research, innovation, and training of the students. On the next slide, I will show you now an example of how our students, when they finish their formation after graduation, how and where they can get their jobs. So 90% of them, of the engineering students, get a job or PhD before the graduation ceremony. This means that they are highly qualified in order to get something that is really very demanded, having the skills to enter companies such as Exxon, Total, or Renault for transport and energy, or companies like L'Oreal, Chanel for cosmetics, or Danone for for food industries, etc. So this means that they will have this very general skills in chemistry that allow them to be very efficient in all kinds of situations according to the specialization that they had during the last semester with us. And almost 40% of them go through PhD program, and this shows again that the diplôme d'ingénieur, the engineering degree from our schools in ParisTech is a degree that allow them to go directly to PhD programs if they want to do it, and this means that they have the required skills and fundamentals and levels and excellence as the ones in the academic field, and they can go without any difficulties through these programs. Finally, on the last slide, I will summarize the fact that studying at ParisTech for you will be a very nice opportunity to be within students in a top world-class university. Our ParisTech school belongs to the University PSL, which is, as you saw during the first part of the presentation, one of the leaders university in France. So this means that in addition to our degree in engineering, if you are joining us for this, you will be with other students that are preparing their master degree in science or PhD degree in science in different fields of chemistry, and then you will be in such ecosystem of all the variety of chemistry at ParisTech PSL. So if you want to shape the chemistry of tomorrow and get the best experience of Paris, please join the ParisTech program within ParisTech admission program. Thank you and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Fethi. And now we are going to listen to Marie-Christine for a presentation of École des Ponts ParisTech. So, Marie-Christine.
École des Ponts ParisTech. École des Ponts ParisTech. So I will go straight to the distinctive points of École des Ponts ParisTech compared to the school, because through the initial presentation of ParisTech, you understood the strengths of our schools in terms of scientific excellence, connections with the company, employability, small size, etc. So I will focus on the main characteristics for the École des Ponts ParisTech related to thematics, topics. So pont means bridges, as many of you know, and this was the initial expertise of École des Ponts ParisTech, founded in 1747. It is an old school, and the initial mission of the school was to equip the country with infrastructure, civil engineering, transport, water systems, and basically everything related to equipment and territory. So the topics of civil engineering, environment, transportation, city planning, urbanism is the oldest topic of expertise at École des Ponts, and this is still the main positioning of the school. The school works for the ecological transition, for the digital transition also. The school reports to the ministry, to the French Ministry of the Ecological Transition. So, of course, the school's programs are accredited by the Ministry of Higher Education, but technically the school serves the interest and the mission of the Ministry of the Ecological Transition. This means that you will find those domains in different programs. No, I will skip on the first slide. On the main domains of excellence of the school, related to city, territory, civil engineering, transportation, infrastructure, divided in 2 departments of studies at École des Ponts. And then the expertise expanded to applied mathematics, computer science, data sciences, to mechanics, mechanical engineering and material sciences, then industrial engineering, robotics, logistics, and this domain was also at the very beginning of the expertise of the school: economics, finance, green and sustainable finance. So today, this green and sustainable finance is very popular. But in the 18th century, the economic overview and the economic stakes of an infrastructure and the transportation project was also key. This is why it is at the core of the School of Engineering expertise. It means that you will find those departments of studies when you apply to École des Ponts ParisTech. Those departments of studies offer courses in French, but we also offer non-degree courses, 2 non-degree courses, one in green and sustainable finance, and another one taught in English in applied mathematics. Otherwise, it's French taught. When you are at school, so the school is small size. The school gathers 2,000 students, which is small compared to university size. Half of the students are enrolled in the engineering curriculum, around 800 or 1,000. And the students work closely with the laboratories. All the labs and research centers are on campus, which is very, very convenient and favors and helps the connection between teaching, research-based learning is very important. And so you will have the opportunity to do your research project in the laboratories, and also on equipments gathered in co-innovation labs with 3 platforms. So, one platform for multi-scale observation for resilient cities, a platform related to urban mobility modeling, and a platform for building systems and artificial intelligence. So depending on your department of study, you will have to work in the labs and also use those equipments together with the company. Those equipments are also open to companies, from startups to large-size companies. And this is the opportunity to also to work with company and to have connections with company for your future needs. The school is very international, I mentioned, and someone put the question in terms of quota. So we don't have quota, but 30% of students are international, coming from partners to universities, from your universities, but also from other universities with which we have partnerships. So on campus, you will see students from Europe, many students from European countries, but from China, from Southeast Asia, from the Americas. So North America, we have partnership with the MIT, Georgia Tech, Chicago University, for instance, and also students from Africa, Northern Africa, and Southern Africa. So you will sit to students who 1 out of 2 will be non-French, and this is very enriching because you will have to learn a lot from students coming from those countries. Once you graduate, you join the network of 22,000 alumni worldwide in 14 international groups. So we have a very, very active alumni group in Brazil, in China, and also in countries who are perhaps not represented here today. Very, very helpful in your career life, and also and also to get tips in the countries. So international is on campus. On the next slide, we will see that there are 45 nationalities. 10 languages are taught to students. We have certified French as a foreign language center, an official label. So, of course, depending on your level in French, at entrance level, we require the B1 level, and according to your level, you will be either enrolled in intensive seminars or in courses along the academic year. And if necessary, we will be offered by the school the opportunity to take full-time foreign language in French 4 weeks in summer. If you need this upgrade in French as a foreign language, the school will arrange it for you. So on campus, I mentioned that we have all the facilities, all the research centers, classrooms, and so on. We also have housing. All the residences and dorms for students are on campus. All students who are admitted at École des Ponts, when you're admitted, you have an access, and we book for you an apartment at the dormitory on campus to make sure that you will be housed on campus and you won't have to commute between downtown Paris and the campus. The campus is 20 minutes from the Paris center, so it's very, very quick and very easy to connect. On the school, on the campus, you have also incubators, the D-School, makerspace, everything you need to prototype and innovate. On the school, you have the companies. The companies visit the school and they introduce their job offers, and they also teach. One third of the teachers are business practitioners, which is a very high ratio. I mentioned the size of the school, 2,000 students, very small and human-sized classes. In each department of studies, you have between 20 and 50 students. So this is the maximum size, and then divided on small groups of 4 or 5 students. So very personalized supervision. And the entry salary level is around 52,000 euros per year, to give you an idea of the value of your diploma on the job market. I won't detail more the curriculum because it's very, very similar to other schools. 3 academic semesters, 1 final project semester under the school supervision, which can be taken either in French or outside France, but not in the country of origin. I will mention just that because I see many participants from Brazil, that the École des Ponts is not accessible through the ParisTech admission board. The École des Ponts is accessible through bilateral partnerships. So we have bilateral partnerships with Escola Politécnica da Universidad de São Paulo, with Universidad Federal de Rio de Janeiro, with Instituto Tecnológico de Aeronáutica, and Universidad Federal de Minas Gerais. We don't have any agreement with other universities, so I prefer to put it now in order to to avoid confusion later.
So, thank you, Marie-Christine. And we go now to the introduction of SPCI. Ricardo, please.
Yeah. So SPCI stands for the Superior School of Physics and Chemistry, of Industrial Physics and Chemistry. And the first word is, we mentioned a few times, there is no major in France. You get a diploma of an engineering school, and SPCI, you get a diploma in physics and chemistry. You cannot choose, you have to do both, okay? So if you don't like one of the two, run away from SPCI, you're going to be unhappy with us. If you like both, that's the place to go. Okay, so this is a very small school. We have about 300 students total. It's 85 to 95 per year. And to put that in perspective, we have 80 staff teachers, professors, and assistant professors, which are complemented by about 200 scientists that will also help in the teaching. So it's almost one student per teacher. Officially, it's 1 per 4, but I am not a professor at the SPCI yet. I teach at the SPCI. I'm a senior scientist, so I'm one of the examples of that. So you have a very high rate of teaching. We have 11, we have 10, we joined 2, 11 research laboratories. A laboratory in France is not what a laboratory means elsewhere in the world. French like to be different. A laboratory in France is the equivalent of a small department. Okay, so a laboratory has many laboratories inside, has many rooms with equipment and with people working in different groups. So it's 11 departments, let's say like that. We publish about a paper, now it's a paper and a half per day. There are 3 startups created every year, and I didn't put here, but there is one patent per week created at the SPCI. And it's well known to being the home of the Curies. That's where Pierre Curie made his debut in his career. That's where he discovered piezoelectricity, and that's where, together with Marie Curie, they discovered radium. The lab, the Curie lab, doesn't exist anymore. The radioactivity of the Curie's labs is still in place. We also had just come back. We have plenty of Nobel Prizes. I have to talk about all of them. Sorry, Florence. We have also another Nobel Prize of Marie Curie, the only one who got one in physics and another one in chemistry. Frédéric Joliot-Curie is an SPCI alumnus, another Nobel Prize. Pierre-Gilles Desgènes, a Nobel Prize in 1991, sorry, 72 is his work. 1991, was the director of the school for over 25 years. That's also where Georges Charpak worked. He has a Nobel Prize for particle detectors. In accelerator physics, they used to have bubble chambers. They became wire chambers thanks to Georges Charpak. And there is the big, forgotten by the Nobel Committee, Paul Langevin, who deserved one. Nobody knows why he didn't get one. There are other examples in ParisTech of people who should have one and don't. Some of them still can. I hope they will. So now we can move to the next slide. The training, as I mentioned, is physics and chemistry. You cannot choose. You have to do both. And just to make life a little bit harder, there is also some biology that it's put in the middle. It's not a biology school. It's biology and physiology for physics and chemistry. Okay? And the idea is that you have to get the overview and a quite deep training in all these fields and put them together in your problem solving. And to do that, we have a very